What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the KREF High School Huddle here on our KREFsports.tv YouTube channel. That is Connor Pasby. I'm Grayson Singleton. As always, follow us on Twitter, IG, and wherever other social media you like to hang out at. We're going to post our schedules, graphics, highlights, and all sorts of things from our content and from our sports that we cover of all our athletes as well. So make sure you follow us on social media for all of that. Coming up on this show, we've got soccer to preview this weekend. We've also got an Edmond baseball game to talk about that's upcoming for this weekend. But you know what we do here. We recap stuff that has happened in the past. And we had baseball series that are now through, home and homes. And the theme of our show today is going to be sweeps because there were a lot of them on the baseball diamond. Again, that's Connor. I'm Grayson. Glad you're with us. Let's go ahead and start with Edmond Memorial, who came into their series with Yukon unbeaten in district play at 6-0. Edmond Memorial takes game one of the series, and they go to Yukon looking for the sweep in game two. We'll pick this one up in the top of the third with Edmond Memorial up 1-0, and Cooper Cardocus sends one deep off the right field wall. That'll score Rhett Winchester to make it 2-0, and Memorial extends the lead to 4-0 after a couple of sac flies in the inning. Now to the top of the sixth, and here comes Cohen Isaacson.
Brogdon's been able to fight back. Here's the 3-2. Swung well. He got under it into right field, but that one's going to keep carrying and it is out of here. A home run.
And then the very next batter, here comes Rhett Winchester again. He sends one out to deep left center field, and the throw back into the infield is misplayed by Drake Pace at short. Winchester takes advantage of the error, coming around to score to make it 6-0. Now in the bottom of the sixth, Yukon trying to make a comeback. Landon Ritchie with a single makes it 6-2. And then a couple of batters later, Ritchie steals home to make it 6-3. However, Yukon doesn't get any closer and loses 7-4. And now Edmond Memorial, still unbeaten in the district, now leads 6A District 1 with an 8-0 record. Edmond Memorial also got a really good start, another really good start from Cole Dunlap. He goes 5 1/3 innings, giving up only 2 earned runs, 3 hits, and strikes out 9 as well. Connor, here's my question to you. Edmond Memorial again, now 8-0 in district play. Who can beat these dudes at this point?
Right, yeah, they've been unstoppable, and yesterday that was the first time I got to see them live, and Cole Dunlap, he's a kid, PBR Oklahoma has him the #1 player in the 2027 class in Oklahoma. He had 9 strikeouts, man. He was just working from the start of the game to the finish. He had a great outing, and everything was working for him. Fastball, low 90s, got that breaking ball in there for a strike, so Cole Dunlap put together a great performance, and he got some help from the hitters. 1 through 3 hitters for Edmond Memorial. They started 2 for 2 in the game. So great production up in the top of the order from Memorial. I mean, he got so many different players that step up and play a big role for them. Winchester, Cooper Cardocus, the Nebraska commit. So the offense was just clicking all night long for Memorial to get out to a big lead and to hold on for that win over Yukon.
Yeah, no kidding. And also, we failed to mention this. They beat Yukon 3-2 in the first game. They got 6 1/3 innings of 2-run ball from Landon Williams. So they've got a nice little 1-2 in those district home and homes. Again, 8-0 now on the season. That'll just be a fun team to cover as we continue to go along.
Yeah, they have all the tools, and they're pitching. Laird Williams, we just found out
Laird Williams, not Landon. Pardon me.
He's going to Tulane. Dude, big body on the mound. He is 6'8", like 240, 245. Yeah, great pitching, great hitting. They got all the tools to make a run at this thing.
And their record certainly reflects that right now at this point in time. I believe they're 18-4?
18-2.
18-2.
Yeah, still undefeated in district play.
Which obviously is the most important thing as we, play for seeding in the postseason. Another team in Edmond was looking for a district sweep in a home and home. Now, Deer Creek had not gotten a sweep through the district slate. They only played 1 game of their district home and home against Moore last week, so they're half a game back, and we'll see how they make that up in the district. But they get the big win over Norman North on Monday, where they just smoked the Timberwolves on the road, 16-0, and thanks to in large part, to an 11-run 5th inning that was assisted by a couple of Norman North errors as well, but the Deer Creek Bats were on fire in that game. Could they keep it up in Game 2. But it was Norman North on the road that got the party started early. Top of the first inning, Trevor Smith swats this one into left field. That'll score Luke Spencer and Will Lundquist, and the Timberwolves have a quick 2-0 lead. In the bottom of the first inning, tied at 2 after the Antlers plate 2, Connor Atkinson sends this one into left field. That'll score Jacob Ludlam to make it 3-2 Deer Creek. And then Grant Richards, the following batter, he scores Connor Atkinson on a single, so Deer Creek plates 4 in the inning to go up 4-2. In the top of the second, Will Lundquist, continuing his hot season in his senior year, he triples. That'll score Spencer. The lead is cut in half at 4-3. And then later on in the inning, this will become a trend in our show. Will Lundquist steals home, and the game is tied at 4. Fast forward to the top of the 5th inning with the Antlers up 8-5 at home. Will Lundquist sends this one deep to center field and off the wall, and it kicks away from the center fielder Connor Atkinson. That's an inside-the-park grand slam for Lundquist, and Norman North goes up 9-8 late in the game. Very next inning, though, bottom of the 5th, tied at 9, Peyton Lockridge comes off the bench to pinch hit, and he singles and scores a run. 10-9 Deer Creek as the Antlers get an insurance run to win this one 11-9 and earn their first district sweep of the season. So Deer Creek outscores Norman North 27-9 in the 2-game set, winning that one 11-9. And the Antlers now back to 500 on the year. They have finally gotten out of this rut where they had lost 7 of their last 8 games. The offense was really struggling. They win over Edmond North over the weekend and now take 2 from Norman North. Things starting to look up for them. Now, as a baseball player, when you come out of those stretches like that, how do you turn that into a run where you can put together really good offense game after game, week after week?
Well, first off, Grayson, it helps when you can get a sweep to gain some confidence under your belt, because we know in 6A you're going to go through that. I mean, a rough stretch when you have competition every single game against some of the top teams at the 6A level, so many teams that have a shot to make a deep run in the postseason. So you're going to go through those growing pains, but Deer Creek able to get the sweep over Norman North. The offense woke up for the Antlers, an important time for them to pick up 2 wins like that and gain some confidence as a whole, especially offensively.
Yeah, Deer Creek, again, now at 9-9 on the season as they try to find their footing in probably the toughest district of baseball this year. They're in there with Edmond Santa Fe and Norman North. Piedmont has been really productive this year, as has Choctaw, as well. So that'll be a fun district. We'll see if Deer Creek can continue to climb back up. They got a really good start from Connor Atkinson on Monday, and then he and the Bats came alive. By the way, that 7, 8, and 9, or 6, 7, and 8 in the Deer Creek order all got on base 4 times.
That helps.
In that final game in the home and home against Norman North.
So what you say is, at the top of the order, I mean, that gets much of the attention, but when you can get that play from the bottom half of your order, that's what makes you more dangerous offensively and can cause some more problems to the opposing pitcher.
By the way, shout out to Peyton Lockridge. He's a sophomore, came off the bench to pinch hit in the 2-hole, and he was the one that delivered the go-ahead run for the Antlers to clinch that sweep of Norman North. To Westmoore we go, and the defending champions, they got a win over Edmond North on Monday, and of course looking to get the brooms out and sweep that 2-game home and home versus the Huskies. This game played at Edmond North as the Jaguars look to sweep the Huskies. And not wasting any time jumping on the Edmond North pitcher Brandon Green. This is in the top of the first, and Caleb Ray grounds one right through the middle. That's a base hit. That scores the first 2 runs of the game. In the top of the second, the Jags already up 4-0. Brody Inhofe launches one deep to left field. That is off the wall. It scores a run, and Inhofe easily cruises into third base with an RBI triple. Now in the bottom of the 6th, it's 7-4 Westmoore. And this pitch gets away, and that allows Logan Bryant to come in from third to score, and that makes it 7-5, so Edmond North with a charge. But in the bottom of the 7th, Avery Longberg grounds out to third, and that does it for the game, and Westmoore, the defending state champion, get a district sweep of Edmond North. They haven't won a whole heck of a lot of games, but they're winning the right ones, and right now they sit in second, just behind Edmond Memorial in that 6A District 1. They're a game ahead of Mustang and Yukon, so that game, that race for that number 2 spot that would host a regional. Certainly going to come down to the final weeks of the season, but Westmoore starting to put things together as we continue to go through the year.
Yeah, Westmoore is, and they got Inhofe, a kid that played a bunch for them last year. Kemp out there in the outfield, the OU commit, very quick, good bat out there at the plate too. So Westmoore is playing some really balanced baseball right now, getting some good outings from their pitching, coming through with big hits, and they've been winning some low-scoring games, and you'll take that in district play.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, let's go back to game 1 of that series, 4-3. It was a 4-3 win. They've also played in a lot of low-scoring games outside of District 2. They lost 3-2 to Jinx, lost 1-0 to Broken Arrow over this past weekend. And, they're not a team that's going to blow a lot of teams out, but, being able to grind out those wins. Now, here's the thing with Westmoore and how their schedule stacks up. They have already played Yukon, who is a game back of them. They have to be better than Yukon outright because Yukon swept Westmoore in that district home and home. So that might be a tiebreaker that comes into the play. We don't expect either of those teams to catch Edmond Memorial. So it's that tiebreaker may be the difference between we host a region or we're going on the road somewhere else.
Yeah, it's huge. And with a team like Westmoore, I mean, it's a team that obviously has that state championship under their belt from last year. So they know what it takes to compete here and get this thing going. And Westmoore's doing that right now. Like we just said, playing balanced baseball. There's no high-scoring games. They're keeping it low-scoring, coming through with some crucial hits down in the later of the innings. So the Jaguars are playing good baseball right now. It's a team that you like in the 6A level, in the middle of the pack in the district to make a run.
Do you have a team right now that you've looked at and have been just overly impressed? Let's take Edmond Memorial out of it here for a second. What's impressed you the most this year?
Man, I'm trying to think outside. Really, like all three. I think Santa Fe is probably the second one for me.
Okay.
I mean, if we're not counting Memorial, who I just saw yesterday, but Santa Fe, I've seen this Brumbaugh kid quite a bit for Santa Fe. When he started playing his freshman year, was a starter in the lineup for Santa Fe. You just knew that kid was going to be something special for this Wolves team. And he's got Sims on the mound with him, so it's good pitching and good hitting for Santa Fe, a team that's really similar for Memorial. They both do the pitching and the hitting at extreme high level.
Yeah. Santa Fe, by the way, they had a district home and home against Lawton Eisenhower. They swept that one easily, outscoring Eisenhower 29-0. In that home and home. By the way, Edmond Santa Fe going to play an Edlum game against Edmond North this weekend. What should we expect there, you think?
I think it's Memorial, actually. So
Memorial.
Santa Fe Memorial. Yeah, that's two heavyweights right now in 6A. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs. I'm sure there's going to be some scouts there watching that, getting their radar guns out, getting their phones out, and watching so many talented hitters at the plate for both teams. So that is going to be a fun matchup to watch. I'm not sure which way that one's going to go for both these teams who are playing good ball as of late.
You and I are both correct. So Santa Fe will play a game at home against Edmond North on Friday and then at Edmond Memorial on Saturday.
There we go.
So we have a Edmond trifecta, so to speak, this weekend to determine, I guess, who's going to be the Edlum champion. Okay, that's this weekend. That will be, of course, on KREFsports.tv. Let's transition to soccer here real fast because Kaylee Gibson from Bixby had a 4-goal game in their win over Sand Springs a couple of weeks ago. Since then, they have also beaten Mustang, the Spartans have. So Bixby right now has the 3rd best record in all of 6A at 7-1. They're getting ready to play a game against Muskogee this weekend. And Connor got to sit down with Kaylee Gibson, a University of Tampa commit, to talk about the success that the Spartans have had so far.
6-1 right now, 1-0 in district play. Well, Kaylee, what's been clicking for you guys right now? Because you're playing great soccer as of late.
Yeah, I mean, what's been working for us is kind of just sticking to what we know. Everyone has their own unique style of soccer, and just kind of merging that and us playing together as a team, we can play really beautiful soccer. So just playing together has been really working for us.
And what's the vibe like with this team? Because you guys have had tons of success. You brought back some experienced players from a year ago, new faces stepping up into a bigger role. So what's the vibe like with this team?
I mean, everyone loves each other on and off the field. We have super great team chemistry, so that allows us to just kind of like know what everyone's thinking and be able to play together on the field. But we're all super confident and excited for the season. So the vibes are really up right now.
And let's go back to the performance that you had against Sand Springs, the last game that you guys had 8-2 win. You scored 4 of those 8 goals. So how special of a moment was that for you?
That was really special. Transferring this year, I wanted to make a big impact on this team, and I feel like that was kind of just what all of us needed, just that big confidence boost going into districts, winning that first game. But it was really special for me because I kind of want to show my team that I'm here for them and I can help us get to where we need to be.
In the preseason, did you guys sense that this was going to be a really good year for you guys, that you guys were going to have this much success early on in the 2025 season?
Yeah, absolutely. Preseason, we were really solid. We were winning our games. We were doing really, really well. So everyone was super excited for this season. So.
And you are committed to Tampa. So talk to me about the recruiting process and what that was like and what led you to landing on Tampa for your collegiate career.
Oh man, the recruiting process was difficult. It was super fun, but having just all those schools that having to pick from, it was a lot. I saw so many cool and pretty campuses, but Tampa just really felt like home, and I love the girls. I love the coaching staff. They were great. They really made it feel like home throughout that process.
And last one for you, Kaylee. You guys have some big games coming up, some crucial district matchups. What's it going to take to continue this hot streak and take some momentum into the postseason later on?
We're just really going to need to keep finding our flow in the game because that's really important. We can't get in our heads. We have to keep playing good soccer, calm down, play with each other, and we're definitely going to perform really, really well.
Okay, Connor, first of all, great job with the interview. What has impressed you the most about Bixby, and was there anything from that interview with Kaylee that stood out when you got to sit down with her?
Yeah, well, Gibson is really talented. She had 4 goals against Sand Springs, so she's one of the players that is the most talented on the team. But she's got a great surrounding cast around her. So many players that can step up and maybe come through with a big goal late in the game. But the Bixby Spartans have been fun. Saw them a few weeks ago down there in Bixby. So, yeah, they've been a great group to cover. They're well coached, and Kaylee Gibson is a new face for the Spartans team. She wasn't there last year. Here this year, came in, and she's plugged in and been a big piece for them.
Again, a 4-goal game for her in the 8-2 win over Sand Springs. That was last week, and Bixby rolling so far in the season. They've got a tough district to contend with, but they should be up to the challenge. We've got, speaking of soccer, we've got plenty of soccer on KREFsports.tv on Friday. Now, Bixby's game will not be on KREFsports.tv, just so you know, but we've got Southmoore and Norman North on the boys and girls side of things, Deer Creek and Moore, I'll be at that one, and then Yukon and Edmond Santa Fe in those games. Anything from those stand out to you, Connor?
I think Moore and Deer Creek could be evenly balanced on both sides for both the girls and the boys. But, yeah, 3 soccer matches coming your way for both girls and boys coming up on Friday. So be sure to tune in because just like baseball, we're getting down close to the finish line.
Yep.
And before you know it, we'll be getting ready for postseason soccer.
Yukon at 6-2. You get to see them on the girls' side of things as well. So that is something. By the way, on the girls' side, Moore and Deer Creek. Moore's 4-4, Deer Creek 3-1. So some even records there, and also again district standings. That's the ultimate one that's going to matter. On the boys' side of things, highlight Southmoore. They're 5-2. Deer Creek is 6-2 on the season. So those 2 teams enjoying really successful starts to the year. Again, you can catch those games and those Edmond baseball games on Friday and Saturday on KREFsports.tv. And in case you forget, make sure you remember to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where we're going to post those reminders for you to tune in if you can't get out to any of those games. All right, that'll do it for our show today on the KREF High School Huddle on our KREFsports.tv YouTube. For Connor Pasby, I'm Grayson Singleton. Y'all have a good weekend, everybody. And remember, make sure to tune in this weekend.